Most people are trained to look for one smoking gun, one secret meeting, one wire transfer, one name that explains everything. But real influence usually does not move that way. It moves through layers, public records, nonprofits, donor networks, vendors, lobbying firms, media platforms, PR agencies, foreign agent filings, and the same names showing up across different systems. That is why I am building a records first evidence map, not a conspiracy chart, a structure map. And here is the part people need to understand. When I say TPUSA, Blexix, Candace Owens, Baron Coleman, Erica Kirk, Justin Streef, Stacy Sheridan, GSM Strategy, Lion Rock, TPUSA Faith, Ziklag, Seven Mountains, Salem, FARA Filings, Qatar, Israel, Havas Clock Tower X, Bridges Partners, Luminate, GRV Strategies, Washington Media Group, O'Brien Global, BlackRock, Global Infrastructure Partners, Qatar Investment Authority, BCC Communications, and Mitchell Jackson. I'm not saying every one of these names prove one command structure. That is not the claim. The claim is that these are the lanes where politics, money, media, public records, lobbying, foreign principal work, donor networks, and infrastructure finance start crossing each other on paper. So the question is not, can I prove everything with one document? That is not how serious investigation works. The question is, why do these lanes keep touching? Start with the public records lane. That is UVU, GRAMMA. Event logistics, redactions, airport records, travel questions, tail numbers, service providers, event timing. That lane asks what public institution scheduled, approved, withheld, redacted, or denied. Then look at the domestic operations lane. That is TPUSA operations. Vendor structures, contractors, staffing, event support, organizational changes, DOE's restructuring language, leadership continuity. That lane asks who was doing the work, who got paid, and what changed before or after major events. Then look at the personnel overlap lane. Erica Kirk, Justin Streef, Stacy Sheridan, GSM Strategy, Lion Rock, administrative service providers, fundraising overlap, corporate service overlap. That lane does not say everyone is guilty. It asks whether the same people, vendors, or corporate structures keep appearing around related entities. Then look at the faith and donor lane. TPUSA Faith, Church Mobilization, Ziklag, Seven Mountains Language, donor networks, nonprofit filings, grant trails, political religious organizing. That lane asks how faith, politics, donor money, nonprofit structures, and voter mobilization systems connect. Then look at the media lane, podcast, Salem, influencer strategy, PR firms, digital distribution, narrative work, culture war media, media booking, content amplification. That lane asks how a message moves from an organization, donor network, or PR shop into the public opinion. But then comes the lane most people never read, the FARA and LDA lane. Foreign agent records, lobbying disclosures, registered foreign principal work. On the Israel side, the map includes Havas linked entities, Clock Tower X, Bridges Partners, SKDK, Stagwell related records, media strategy, digital distribution, influence infrastructure, and registered campaign work. On the other side, the map includes Luminate, GRV strategies, Washington Media Group, O'Brien Global, Advisors, Qatar's International Media Office, Embassy Linked Communications, Media Coaching, Opt Work, and Public Relations Infrastructure. Now listen carefully. A, a FARA filing does not automatically prove a domestic media figure was paid. A lobbying contract does not automatically prove control. A PR firm working for a foreign client does not mean everyone near that ecosystem is part of the operation, but it does prove something. It proves the infrastructure exists. It shows who was hired. It shows what services were offered. It shows media strategy. It shows public relation lanes. It shows influence architecture. Then look at the macro finance layer: BlackRock, Global Infrastructure Partners, Qatar Investment Authority, BlackRock Israel, Qatar linked infrastructure exposure, Israel linked market exposure, sovereign wealth relationships, Havas related vendor overlap questions. Again, carefully, that does not prove BlackRock funded an Israel or Qatar media campaign. It does not prove a payment bridge. It does not prove coordination. But when macro finance, sovereign wealth, infrastructure, PR firms, media campaigns, and FARA records start touching the same map, that becomes a watch node. Not a conclusion, but a watch node. Then look at the new media PR lane: BCC Communications, Mitchell Jackson, Candace Owens, Brett Cooper, Culture War Media, Crisis PR, Podcast Ecosystems, Media Booking, Narrative Work. The current record does not prove BCC or Mitchell Jackson had a contract with Israel, Qatar, Havas Clock Tower X, Bridges, Luminate, GRV, Washington Media Group, O'Brien Global, BlackRock, or GIP. So I do not label that as proven. I label it as a watch node. That is the difference between research and propaganda. Propaganda says they are all connected. Damage control says nothing to see here. A real evidence map says this is confirmed, this is documented indirect, this is a weak lead, this is unsupported, this needs more records, and that is why this map matters. Because if you only look at one lane, it looks isolated. UVU looks like a records dispute. TPUSA looks like a political organization. Ziklag looks like a donor network. FARA looks like foreign lobbying paperwork. BlackRock and GIP look like infrastructure finance. Havas looks like PR. BCC looks like new media communications. Podcasts look like commentary. Airport records look like logistics. But when you place those lanes side by side, a bigger question appears. How does influence move? Who pays vendors? Who funds nonprofits? Who hires PR firms? Who shapes media narratives? Who contacts journalists? Who books podcasts? Who builds digital campaigns? Who mobilizes churches? Who moves through donor advised funds? Who files under FARA? Who appears in lobbying records? Who sponsors events? Who gets subcontracted? Who gets left unnamed? And what public records are being withheld? That is the map. Not one accusation, not one theory, a paper trail structure. And the rule is simple: no claim gets upgraded unless the records prove it. A contract, a filing, an invoice, a disbursement, a Schedule I grant, a Schedule O explanation, a FARO supplemental statement, an LDA report, a vendor list, an event invoice, an email, a public record, a court document. That is how you separate a real evidence trail from noise. Because influence is not always hidden in one smoking gun. Sometimes it is hidden in the pattern. And if the same donors, nonprofits, vendors, media platforms, PR firms, lobbying records, public agencies, and foreign influence lanes keep crossing paths, then the public deserves to see that structure. Not exaggerated, not sanitized, mapped, labeled, sourced, and especially tested against the paper trail.